I bet you $1 during this podcast I'll touch a squirrel.
Okay, I'm into it.
All right.
I'm into it. That's a stupid bet. I've seen his social media, his Twitter. He can do it, and I just basically gave him $1.
This time of day, though, it's a little rough. They're usually more hungry in the mornings. By now, they're not usually out as much, but we'll see. So
he's trying to preemptively make me feel better about losing a bet. That's a true friend.
I'm trying to go double or nothing.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Chris Grant Podcast. I'm out here with my friend Kurdt something at Top of the Rock, man. We're driving around on a golf cart. I don't know how we got here, how this is happening, but I don't ask a lot of questions. He just said, hey, come out and ride with me. And so that's what I'm doing. It's absolutely beautiful out here. So we're going to get into the podcast stuff. As you saw, this dude can touch squirrels, so we may touch a couple squirrels while we're out here. There's one right there.
There he is. I see him.
He's on the ground, though. Kurdt prefers the feeder method. You can figure that out, or find more of that on your Twitter. What's that?
Squirrel Touch Updates, or at Kurdt something. Kurdt spelled K-U-R-D-T, so I like to be difficult. But yeah, K-U-R-D-T something on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to dead name it, but people usually know Twitter much better, so.
Oh yeah, also known as X.
Yes.
Yes, okay, yeah. I missed that other part, whatever you were talking about. Man, all right, so I got some notes, as usual.
Where we are is the Lost Canyon Cave and Nature Trail on Top of the Rock at Big Cedar Resort.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bumpy ride. Plus, EP from last episode is also helping shoot. So just bear with us. That's kind of what puts you here with us, right? Is the bump and the whatever. The sound's better.
Shaky vision.
We're working on it.
Shaky vision.
We get new mics, and now we got to work on stabilization, whatever.
One step at a time.
I met Kurdt. How long ago has it been, man? You've been doing comedy for
I started
a minute.
September 11th last year. I've been in comedy for about a year and a half. It was 9/11 when we met.
You'd think I wouldn't forget that. But September 11th of 23?
23, yeah.
23? Dang, dude.
That's right.
Where's the time going?
Well, because I heard from comedy podcasts that like a real hack thing to do is turn 35 and start doing stand-up. So I turned 35 and 1 month later started trying stand-up.
So why'd they say it was a hack thing to do?
I don't know. I don't really understand a lot of what... Whoa, it's getting bumpier. We're crossing waterfalls.
Yep. We're driving on rich people stuff here, guys. Excuse us.
That's the thing. The people that I respect, I don't necessarily understand what they say. I just believe them. I just found a Pegasus.
What? You know what? We're going to give this away. I'm going to put a link down in the description. And if you want this Pegasus, throw your email in the box and it's yours. We're going to draw a name and you can have this. Unless you want to keep it. That was so rude of me. You might want to add it to your collection. He's got like 7,000 of these.
Yeah, I think I might have dropped that one last time I was here, actually. I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, that's actually Tony. Yeah.
Like, there are literally so many of them down here. There's like these Pegasus every 7 feet.
But that one doesn't seem to be moving too well. Maybe he's sick.
That one's seen some stuff.
You can probably hear the waterfalls we're crossing. It's a pretty nice area.
There's a howling wolf down here, made out of wire.
I do my part to support conservation and chain smoke the entire time I'm here. Some people say the world is their oyster. I don't like seafood, so the world is my ashtray, That's just a joke. I don't throw the butts.
Oh, slow down. That's a Kurdt something. That's a legit Kurdt something statement right there.
Yeah.
Life is your ashtray.
Yes, correct. It's actually a Modest Mouse lyric, but it works here too because I don't eat seafood whatsoever. I can't stand seafood. Like if a pig falls in a creek, I won't eat the bacon. I've never even dated a lifeguard. I don't eat anything that swims.
Okay. Well, good to know about. I'm learning all kinds of things about Kurdt. We're not even like close to being done. So, man, let's. So you started comedy then. I asked the same cliche question, you know, to everybody, but what got you into comedy? What made you want to do it? You turned 35. It was hack.
Well, my whole life I've been like obsessed with comedy, with comedians. Like, even before I even had the concept of trying comedy myself, I would always tell people, and we were first getting to know each other, that I'm just obsessed with comedy. I love the mathematics behind it. I love the erratic thought process. And my dad was probably the funniest person I ever met, and a close second would be my cousin Albert. So, and I don't know, it's always just been very important to me to laugh, make people laugh, and it's just, I've had a lot of hardships in my life, and I've always enjoyed laughing through them, you know?
I think that's what it is for me too, the hardships and making it bearable, you know, some of the stuff you have to go through. I feel like I lost my sense of humor for a long time because of things that happened, and that's one of the blessings that comedy's, you know, one of the things it's done for me is giving that back, you know, so I can really appreciate that answer.
Growing up, my mom always would ask why I didn't want anyone to take me seriously, and I always said it depends how serious you can take a joke, you know?
Yeah.
I remember one time I was incarcerated, and I was going to be getting out. I went to like my probation release meeting, and I came back to the cell block, and the guard said, "Hey, you got mail on your bunk." And I went in and I got it, and I wrote on it quick, and I came back out and went, "Oh, man, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Like, I was supposed to be getting out tomorrow morning now, and I come in and hear the DA sent me this." And I opened it up and it said, "You're a homo." So what do I do about that? And he said, "Why don't you take anything seriously?"
I love the real life pranks too, like you know, the mashups. So we're going in a cave.
We're driving into the cave now.
I don't know how well the lighting's going to be.
It's probably going to be very loud too. Very loud. We could have skipped this, but here's my buddy Kylie.
I'm surprised at how well we're lit right now.
What's up, buddy? What's going on? Yep, doing that thing. This is really cool in the winter because icicles will start forming from the ground up.
Oh, cool.
The waterfalls will keep pouring, but there'll be like an ice shell around it. It's very neat. Yeah, when we get back, we don't even have to stop. They keep a lane open. We can just drive right through again.
This is like Silver Dollar City for old people.
Yeah, I don't understand Silver Dollar City. Like, you go... see, no, that's the thing. I didn't realize that there was rides there when I went.
Okay.
So I thought, like, you just go get your name painted on, like, a 4-foot-long wooden spoon and carry it uphill all day. It never made sense to me. Yeah, this right here is
He's a liar. He got the umbrella.
On the saber-toothed cat placard, here's what drives me the craziest. If you read through here, towards the bottom it says, Smilodon called the Ozarks home, and there's an apostrophe in Ozarks. That drives me nuts. Like, why don't you proofread your signs? I'm sure it wasn't cheap. Yeah, a pretty neat thing about this part is there's pigeons that live in here, and there's also quite a few hawks in the area. So if you time it just right, you can see pigeons getting taken down by hawks in the wild right here.
Once again, I want to thank EP for shooting this for us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, also from all the water coming down in the winter, giant icicles will form here, and they come out from the world-renowned shooting academy right here, and they shoot them down with shotguns.
What?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yep, world championship marksmen they have over here running the shooting academy, and they come out and shoot down all the icicles with shotguns.
I want to come film that. We talked about how you got into comedy, but let's talk about like some of your influences. You know, who made you want to do it growing up, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Well, my dad was a huge Norm Macdonald fan, And so like passively in the background all the time would be just Norm Macdonald videos. Like from the time YouTube came out, that's basically what YouTube was for, was playing Norm Macdonald on shuffle at all times. And so like I kind of have a strange sense of humor, I think, being informed by that. Like my favorite joke of all time, no one else thinks is funny but me. It's a Norm Macdonald vault joke, and I always thought that revenge was a dish best served cold, but now I realize it's like getting back at someone.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like you're laughing because it's my favorite joke, not because you like the joke.
No, I like the joke, man. Dude, I'm a big fan of Norm Macdonald. And what's crazy is I don't know that I always was. Like, back in the day, like, it's weird. I always loved comedy, but I didn't get comedy the way I do now. So back in the day, I didn't appreciate Norm Macdonald or other comedians nearly as much as I do now. So Steve Martin being another one. I just thought, I was Steve Martin, whatever. But, you know, now it's totally different for me. So.
Oh yeah, I always loved Steve Martin. That was, Norm Macdonald was my dad's guy, and then Steve Martin was probably my mom's guy. She, he just has that very lively, goofy, and semi-clean, but overall it wasn't about like the offensive shock. Like sometimes Norm had that offensive shock. Steve was just about being funny.
Right.
And I think that appealed more to my mom, so that helped inform, I guess, that side of it more.
See, I'm totally more of a Norm guy.
Me too.
I have to have that, not have to have the offensive shock, but I can't just, you know, be goofy and funny, because that's not reality to me.
Yeah.
And that's also not where my humor comes from. You know, my humor doesn't always come from a light-hearted place.
I agree with that, absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to become less offensive. I'm working on it, but that's just like what I have a very severe sense of humor. And I'm afraid to even mention the topics of the stuff I do comedy on, because it don't get taken off of YouTube.
Yeah, we don't have to mention it. No, but that's, you know, just to talk about that for a second, that's something cool about comedy too, is that I think the reason you're saying that is because we did a show recently, and you realized by doing that show, I guess, that you wanted to clean stuff up and you wanted to do things different. And
quite a bit.
I'm proud of you for it, because not because I'm against dirty comedy or anything like that, but I think I had the same experience in my journey where I was like, you know, this stuff's funny. This stuff works. It fits the joke formula, but at the same time, I can do better. You know, and I am better than that.
Right.
So, but it's cool to have those realizations about yourself.
I do have one joke on those lines that I wrote recently that I still think is very funny. I don't think I'm gonna immediately trash it. Do you want to hear it?
No.
No?
Not on the podcast.
It won't get it taken down, I swear. It's clean enough.
But yeah, I don't want viewers to judge me.
All right. Fair enough.
Not without paying for it.
Fair enough.
Come to the comedy show and see it. Buy a ticket. Take the ride. Real quick, want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Yin Ching at the Fremont Hills exit in Ozark, Missouri. If you're headed out to Branson, just go ahead and stop by and get you something to eat before you get out there. It's affordable. It's great. The atmosphere is great. You're going to love it. Again, Yin Ching in Ozark, Missouri, Fremont Hills exit.
I will say that growing up, Norm Macdonald was the big influence, but now who I think is like the most talented that doesn't get nearly the recognition he deserves is Nick Mullen. I don't know if you're familiar with Nick Mullen.
I'm not. So your story tracks.
Yeah, he just finally got talked into doing a big special last year for the first time. It was called Year of the Dragon, and it blew me away, and still people don't know who he is. But I'm a huge Nick Mullen fan.
It's okay, so it's ringing a bell. Are we going to get attacked?
If you want.
There's bear noises.
I think those are actually mountain lion noises.
So Nick Mullen. Now I haven't heard of him. Or it's ringing a bell, but I don't know if I've seen it or not. Is it a YouTube thing?
Yeah,
Where's it at?
he put his special out on YouTube this past year, but I've been a big fan of his for years. He was on probably the most incredibly offensive podcast of all time. That it ended, I'm not sure how many years ago, but I still listen to it almost daily, like 6-year episodes of it.
Oh my God.
That's the kind of neurodivergent I am. I listen to one podcast, I listen to one band, I come out here and I touch squirrels, I watch conspiracy videos, and I argue with strangers on Facebook, and that's basically everything I do. It's a life. That's a life for me.
Sounds like a full life.
That's a life for me.
So, let's see here. Open mics. That's where I met you, was at an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you do your open mics at? Let's go there.
I travel an hour and a half one way to get to the open mic scene that I do. Because of my demanding labor work schedule, I mostly just go to Corner Pocket Comedy at Billiards and Moon City on Wednesdays. That's a good one. I'm trying to find something a little closer to start doing, but we met at Bugsy's. And I don't think they do comedy there anymore.
Nope.
That was nice.
More comedy there.
So I started even doing, after Jeremiah started running there, I did karaoke there as well after. And I just do Janis Joplin when I do karaoke. Just, full-blown screaming. And they usually cut me off a little early, but...
I feel like I would have remembered that. Have you ever seen me do Whitney Houston?
I have not.
It's good.
I have not.
Oh, I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah, no, I try to do an impression of Janis, as I'm gonna try, yeah, stuff like that.
Is that Bobby McGee?
No, try just a little bit harder.
Try. Oh, you're going deep.
Yeah.
You're going deep on some Janis.
Yeah, well, at one point that was my musical obsession. At one point that was what I listened to. I've always been a fan only of female singers. I think it's really weird for guys to listen to guy singers. I think it's appropriate for a man to appreciate a woman singing and dancing. Like, it makes me feel weird to listen to dudes singing.
Okay. Even Creed?
Well, I mean, there's men, there's women, then there's something else. There's gods and mutants, and that's, that...
Okay, I'm just asking.
you can't compare an angel to a man, that's...
God, I was worried about you.
I like conspiracy theories quite a bit. There's a big one going around right now that the elites are eating mermaids. And part of that is that's where they get the ability to sing the way they do and write the melodies they do is from eating the mermaids and sirens.
Interesting.
But again, that's seafood, so I'm not interested in trying it.
How would you go about eating a mermaid?
I'm guessing with a fork.
I mean, a Debo hopper? So stupid.
Well, see, I believe that the reason that they're starting to push it out now is because there's going to be evidence of mermaid eating in the Diddy files. That's what I believe.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I believe.
Maybe that's what that old Epstein Island was about.
Yeah, maybe that island was in a good spot for catching mermaids. It very well could be. That's possible. I hadn't thought of that. Because he also owned a ranch in New Mexico.
Why don't we get to be a part of the cool stuff? We're eating canned tuna. Canned tuna.
I'm not.
You can't even afford that?
No, that's everyone that knows me well knows better than to open a can of tuna in a house if I'll be there within 3 days. I can't handle it.
Ooh, yeah?
Yeah, I can't do it. It's and it's weird because my brothers love fishing. My mom owned a campground that had 2 fishing lakes and a trout hatchery. And I just can't. I can't stand. I don't even like going fishing. I don't like touching the worm or sticking a hook through it. Then you catch the fish, you have to touch that smelly jerk and you have to rip its face apart. I don't like that at all. The worst part of it is the fish know it. Because I'm the best fisherman you'll ever see. Every single cast. I don't even get to reel in the slack, pull a fish right back out. I hate it.
They just troll you. There's a little squirrel.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty thick squirrel.
He's
fat bottom squirrels. Yeah, that's I'll go fish with my 2 brothers. One will do all right. He'll catch 15 fish that day. The other one will do great. He'll catch 21 fish. I'll stop at 11 o'clock and just catch some grasshoppers after catching 75 fish.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up. I'll dial it down for you. Ooh, I wonder if I can get this one.
Crystal vision. Oh, is there? Okay, stop.
You gotta go to the other side first.
Okay, all right.
There's a method.
He jumped in.
He recognized me.
Okay. We'll be stalking some squirrels. This is cool. They can see it from the back here. A little bit, probably.
Yeah, and it'll be lit up as soon as the sun goes down. If we want to keep making laps for 4 hours. The longest podcast. What, Rogan does like 6 hours, doesn't he?
I'm down for whatever. It's just more time for ads.
Yeah, and more time to edit out the weird stuff that I say that you don't want on your channel.
And now Kurt and I will recite the Declaration of Independence.
From memory.
If we mess up, we start over.
So this is called Indian Head Falls. And the reason is when they were first excavating it, because most of the cave trail was actually underground and they found it with ground piercing sonars and then they dug it out. Like the one that we drove through was fully underground and they dug it out. Like the sinkhole over here, the reason it's called Indian Head Falls, if you look at this rock right up here, you see that weird keyhole shaped hole? Picture that as being a gauge hole. So then that bush is right here, like a soul patch. And then you see the eye socket up top? It's a big Indian head, so it's called Indian Head Falls. Yeah, I'm a fairly obsessive person. I have that trait, so I do know lots of random facts about the things that I see, you know? Or I could be making it all up. You have no idea.
I get that. Well, neither does anybody else. So
that's true.
We'll just roll with it. So you've got a musical background.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a minute. What instrument do you play?
I played a bit of everything. My passion has always been the bass guitar.
Okay.
I do a lot of slap pluck, flamenco style. That's like always been like my forte. But I got into it in the first place because like it runs in my family. On my dad's side, everybody's musicians. My dad was an amazing guitarist, renowned like on the East Coast, and he was one of those guys that had like perfect pitch, do everything by ear. Like here's a song once and he can just play it. And I'm tone deaf. I play strictly mathematically. So I play the bass much more like a percussion instrument.
Okay.
And you know, I'm a pretty outlandish and weird guy. So most of my musical projects had some pretty strange twists to them. Like I was in a funk grass band with two of my cousins that we were called the Shine Runners. And if you want to look it up, you can't because it was before the internet. And we played funk grass. We played like traditional instruments. Like my cousin was a virtuoso musically as well. He used to make his own instruments. Like he made like a hybrid banjo guitar, classical guitar thing. But we did only Smithsonian anthology of bluegrass songs, but we did them like a funk style to it. And kind of the reason was that whatever I try to play comes out funky. So we didn't have a drummer. We had him playing the fiddle or his weird guitar that he made, and then my other cousin just played like electric guitar, and then I did all the percussion on the bass. And that was a pretty interesting project. It was a lot of fun.
I'd like to hear something like that.
Yeah, anything that ever got recorded just like, you know, on a CD with the mic in there just so we could listen to it to practice. And like we would play like locally if there was just like a bluegrass festival where they're letting anybody play. We do stuff like that. It was more just a hobby than it was a product we were trying to market. We just really enjoyed doing it. You know, I played in a worship band. I was a worship leader at a Pentecostal church for years, and that was a very talented band. That was a great band. It was the drummer and singer guitarist were metal players before that, and then I was me on the bass, and then we had a girl that played keyboard and sang, and that was probably like the most technically proficient band that I was ever in. Just like between the drummer and I, we could play a drum and bass solo for 10 minutes without it getting boring. Like my dad was an absolute atheist and he would still come just to watch it because he thought the music was that good.
Okay.
We never had a name because we couldn't agree on one because we were just such different personalities. I thought our name should have been Godosaurus because What's the like a name for the biggest worship band of all time? What better name than Godosaurus, you know? But
it also has a dinosaur reference, which I can appreciate.
Right, it sounds like huge, you know? It sounds big. It sounds big. You saw my shadow. I don't know. That's we weren't a church that denied dinosaurs or even talked about dinosaurs. It really didn't have anything to do with our faith. You know, it wasn't the kind of church that was strict about your worldviews. It was strictly about your faith. I don't know if you're into religion on your podcast, so we don't have to get into it.
I mean, we don't talk about it a lot.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's crazy because I believe in Bigfoots and aliens too. So, you know, how do you incorporate all that stuff?
To quote Dale Gribble, I always believed that there was aliens until the government said there was.
Right. Good point. Okay, so speaking of music, let's keep going. You have an obsession.
I do.
With music.
One band. Like I said, I listen to one band.
One band, yes. Let's talk about it. Who is it?
Canadian twin sister indie pop gay icons Tegan and Sarah.
Okay, you've been rocking the shirt the whole time.
Yep, Tegan and Sarah Foundation.
Yep.
It's Canadian LGBT outreach, youth outreach. This one specifically says about it being important to, what does it say? Said we gotta fight for economic justice, health, and representation for ... And then Sarah says LGBTQ plus girls and women, obviously.
There it is.
You know, I'm some people have like air raid siren obsessions, you know, like certain like sound obsessions. Mine is Tegan and Sarah. Like, I don't like follow their personal lives or like anything like that, but I listen to, like, in order to get amped up for this morning, I watched live concert videos. The way that started though, it was a bit. I was never on the internet my whole life. I was never like a social media person until about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I started making memes right away because it occurred to me that we can just all make memes. And I thought it'd be really funny if I just always had a Tegan and Sarah reference and used them for memes, because all I knew is that they're these twin sister pixies that play like indie pop, and you know, and I didn't know much about them, and so I figured I need to listen to more than just Walking with a Ghost, their biggest song, and just in order to be able to make more informed jokes. Not making fun of them, but just to be funny for a guy like me to have a Tegan and Sarah reference.
Right.
And I just got completely obsessed. I was working hospital cleanup construction at the time, and there was just two songs that hit me in a way that I listened to. I made a playlist of those two songs, and I'd have them in my earbuds doing 12-hour construction days, just on repeat, those two songs. I am still in debt from traveling around the country to see them as much as I could.
How many times have you seen them?
Twice.
They're
very far trips.
You make it sound like you're
I know.
eating grilled cheeses in the parking lot.
Yeah, I did get to meet them in the parking lot. No, it was...
Were they cool with it?
Yes. Well, Sarah ran right into the bus, and I didn't get to speak with her. But Tegan, I got to talk to twice. This last time I went to see her, this is why it cost so much, was I took my mom with, and we stayed at a hotel right next to the venue that was $450 a night.
Oh my gosh.
We made a whole thing of it. We stayed there for like 4 days, culminating with just that, with that concert. And
wake up. There we go.
And so, yeah, and you know, I don't do a whole lot in my time, so I just like went all out for that. The other time was the opening night of their tour this past time, and it was the first time they're on tour since I knew about them and became obsessed with them. So I flew to Pennsylvania and stayed there for a week to get VIP passes to do like everything I could to go see them, and it was kind of neat. I guess because I was so amped up or whatever. Between the way they do their VIPs is they have. Do we want to talk about this?
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going.
The way they do their VIPs is first they have an acoustic show and question and answer, and I got to ask them a question. I was all excited, and like ran next door to a bar that was there, and I'm like, only got 10 minutes, we gotta go. And they're like, okay, what do you want? And I was like, just give me a Jim Beam, thinking I'd get a shot. They brought me out a 20-ounce glass. They're like, have a good night, guys. You guys are gonna rock it. They thought we were they thought we were in the band. Because somebody that worked there, I was outside smoking later, like, how are you smoking right now? Aren't you guys supposed to be playing? I was like, no, I'm not in the, no. Yeah. That was,
you need to leave.
but yeah, as a result of getting that giant glass of Jim Beam, I'd imagine I ruined quite a few people's recordings as I'm belting along with my horrible East Coast accent, along with these, high-pitched pixie singers. So
I think I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah, just people saying, oh my god, this guy ruined the show. Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, it was cool. Last time though, we went for the VIP thing. I wore light-up shoes, but at the end of it, when they were walking away, because I do the quiet part, at the end of it, I went, hi Tegan, and then went to turn around, and she goes, hey, how you doing? I went, good. And I was wearing a shirt that my friend Sam, Astral Sam, she does really great astral photography. She made me a shirt that's had a big and sign, so I wanted to try to get a picture I was between them, so I was the and in Tegan and Sarah.
All right.
And she goes, I like your shirt. I said, thanks, I had it made. She goes, yeah, I haven't seen. I was like, I wore it when. She's like, yeah, I haven't seen one of those. I said, I wore it back in October on opening night. She goes, I was gonna say I haven't seen one since opening night. I remember you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess that explains why you're gay, because guys just talk over you and don't let you make your own jokes. That was, and she appreciated that joke, so that. She liked the joke. And then she actually turned to my mom, who was a distance back, and said, thank you for coming. 'Cause my mom was like 71 years old. And, that's
That's cool.
She stood out pretty good.
That's
But, then the end of the night, I got to take a picture with her. I said, hey, can I have a picture? She said, yeah, sure. And I got the phone out and went, and she goes, that was the best photo I've ever taken. So, she lied to me, and I appreciated it.
Like, share, and subscribe, Tegan and Sarah. Do it for Kurdt.
And while we're on the subject, there's a podcast talking about Tegan and Sarah, and I've tried so many times to get on that podcast, and they just won't let me do it. And I'm not sure why. So if Tegan and Sarah see this, if you have any pull with those girls, please tell them to let Kurdt on finally.
It could be, maybe they feel threatened. I mean, out of anybody, if I was going to ask anybody a question about Tegan and Sarah, it would be Kurdt something.
Well, I did threaten them. Yeah. I did threaten them. Yeah. That was
threatening people doesn't really get you very far with them either.
Take that back.
Okay. Sorry, dude.
The shadow, man. The shadow. I don't know, the eating mermaid thing, I just found out about it. Kitty was on that tip before I was, and I think maybe her telling me about it made my algorithm throw so much of it at me. But that's very interesting stuff, because apparently there's like Japanese legends of a woman accidentally eating a mermaid living for 800 years. Apparently the Japanese believe eating mermaids make you live forever, which... That gets into the whole, I don't know if I can say the A word that goes along with all the Epstein stuff, what I'm talking about. But living forever. They're all pursuing living forever. Yeah. So if mermaids could do it, yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. All that stuff is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the earliest memes that I made featuring Tegan and Sarah, actually, was when the live-action Little Mermaid came out, and everyone was saying, she doesn't look like Ariel, Ariel's a white girl with red hair and all that, and other people are saying, like, who cares, mermaids aren't even real. My contribution was I got a picture of Tegan looking sad, and I said, of course I knew mermaids weren't real, I just need a moment.
You do put out some good memes, dude.
Once in a while.
Speaking of that, like you're on point with your memes.
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Facebook, they wouldn't let me use the last name something for Facebook, so it's Kurdt Egregious. Egregious mean like too much, over the top. That's extremely good, extremely bad, either way. That's my Facebook. If you like, you could probably guess the kind of content you'd get is very deranged memes and weird conspiracy stuff and half-hearted meanings in full-hearted jokes.
It's Kurdt. It's good stuff. We already talked about his jokes. We talked about what you can expect, cleaning it up,
Working on it.
Highbrow. You know what's up, man.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this podcast, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, I've always really liked to go with clever and smart angles presented in very stupid ways. You know what I mean? Like Monty Python did that a lot. It was very intelligent humor in a very stupid slapstick way. That's always been kind of what I'm aiming for.
Same, me. A Naked Gun, Top Secret, Airplane. Maybe mine's more like, making stupid really smart. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe the opposite. Maybe very smart, but very stupid. Because I feel like a problem that I run into a lot is I expect people to know what I'm talking about, that I don't need to cover any backstory. And I've come to realize that's not the case. And my mom told me, I definitely can't expect anyone to be aware of the background of topics I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like right there, I said like the A word along with the Epstein stuff. You didn't know I was talking about did you?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Okay, all right. Just didn't want to say it and get demonetized.
I hope they don't do that. I hope you can say it.
You can beep it. You can bleep it. Just bleep out every time I speak on this. That's
make sure I don't.
No, just bleep out the entire thing. Yeah. Yeah, I need to start making more comedy sketches. I have so many ideas I just never get around to making.
Hopefully we can do that sometime.
I had an idea for a sketch. I've had it for years that I still don't know about the actual maybe production budget of pulling it off. It would be Daniel Day-Lewis face painting. Okay? So it has the title screen, Daniel Day-Lewis face painting. And then it's Daniel Day-Lewis sitting at a little booth. A little girl walks up and goes, "Hello, little girl, how would you like your face painted today?" She goes, "Well, I'd like it." He goes, "Badoosh," with a paint roller. Just right down her face. That's the whole sketch. Yeah, I'd love to make that one, but SNL, if you're watching, I have a whole litany of very short Daniel Day-Lewis sketches in mind that typically end with him going, "And badoosh." Hey, buddy. $1. What's up?
All right, man, here it is. I don't know why I made such a dumb bet. I knew you were going to win. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. It was so fun. Special thanks to Kurdt Something for having me out at Top of the Rock. Let's give a shout out to Johnny Morris for making that all possible. I know, I'm a music guy. They've got a lot of cool shows coming up out there, so make sure to check those out and keep that on your radar. Special thanks to you, the viewer. I hope you like these shows. I hope you like the other episodes too. If you haven't seen them, please check them out. If you got any ideas, shoot them my way. We're always working on some stuff. So, like, share, subscribe. I'll catch you next time.